I'm gonna go out on a limb here and just potentially speak for both of us, which I think is rude to do. But I'm gonna do it anyway, so clearly not that rude. I don't think either of us expected to be here.
100 episodes, baby! We did it.
Dude,
we did 100 episodes of this show.
We've talked to each other for at least 100 hours, which is like at least 5 days of our lives that we're never getting back. And
including all the mini side pulls that we did once upon a time as well.
Oh man, and including, well, technically, I don't even necessarily want to bring this up, but I am. This is episode 101.
Is it really?
Yes, because
where's the lost episode?
Toby.
Oh, that's right. We had a whole episode that we did not air. Damn, that's wild. What if we just air that instead for episode 100?
I'm not gonna touch.
Put some controversy out there.
I do have it on a hard drive, and the only people who have ever heard it are you, me, Toby, and I gave the file to Conrad to practice and edit on. So there's 4 people who have ever heard that episode. But think about just think about the math. Just think about the math for a second of all of the human hours that we have wasted with people listening to us. Over 100 episodes. Because if it's 4 or 5 days for us being here, there's thousands of people listen to the show.
Somebody
week.
showed up in the Discord just this week and said, like, I binged like all of the episodes over the last month.
We have, I think that I'm realizing we've been like a net negative to society.
We've ruined people. We've ruined lives.
I didn't think so. When we started this, I think one of the first things you said to me is like, I don't really stick with anything we do, and I'm like, someone is funding the project. We're doing a job. Maybe we'll get 20, maybe we'll get 50, but like, I mean, pat on the 100 is like something that I think is worth celebrating. In television, when you get 100 episodes of something, that means you can be syndicated, and that means you make a lot of money. And we're not making a lot of money, or any money. I should actually
get syndicated. You don't know. Radio is dying nowadays. They need to open up some windows somewhere.
I had a very popular podcast company in my email asking for a sponsorship opportunity, and I gave them all the info, and they said, "What if we send you a month of product, and then you just you try and do some ad reads, and we see if they work?" And I'm like, motherfucker, no. Do you know who we are? We don't do promo-based advertising, and now we're still losing money, and that's fine because we've done 100 This is I am excited. I am standing here. My mom's probably trying to go to sleep. The Christmas lights are hung. It's been over 2 years and only 2 TIs and a whole pandemic, and we did a thing. Golf claps.
Yeah. Golf claps all around. We did well. I remember telling you that I'm like that I don't really stick with anything that I start for very long. But I also said that I was like, if somebody else is in charge of productions and things, it'll go much better for me.
And here we are. I've been a stooge for over 2 years. We've both gone through a lot of different haircuts. We've had a lot of different backgrounds on the video version. And
we used to do this in person, and then COVID happened, and now we just regularly do it online. We used to get paid for it.
We used to get paid for it. Yep.
We used to get paid for it. Now we pay for the podcast.
That does happen. It's funny.
And by we, I mean you.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I appreciate the self-awareness. For people who don't know, generally speaking, it costs money to host a podcast, just like you do anything online. And yes, there are free alternatives, but like most things, they come with drawbacks. So every month, my credit card is charged to host the podcast to everybody, and that's fine. It's like $20. It's just really nothing. It's really nothing. It's fine. It doesn't add up. It's like $200 a year. It's like, well, it's like whatever. But
it's just $200 a year.
Anywho, what was I saying? Oh, this is probably a natural segue. I don't think you're supposed to point out the segue, but I think it's a natural segue to something new we are trying and celebrating. We are giving ourselves a birthday gift, a golden birthday gift.
And you are all invited to bring presents.
And by presents, he means money.
Money, please.
So, for a hot minute now, people have been saying, how could we give you money? And we've been saying, we're privileged people who don't need money. We do this for fun. We used to get paid. We don't get paid anymore, but we haven't got paid in a very long time. Let's be clear about that. And we just like kind of ignored the idea of doing some kind of crowdfunding, Patreon, what have you. And that all changes today.
That's right. Now you can give us your hard-earned money in exchange for us wasting your life. You can say thank you for wasting your time by giving us money through a Patreon. Well, you're not really, you're buying. Yeah, that's what a Patreon is, right? You're buying something, kind of. You're mostly just giving us money, but there are incentives.
So we decided to set up a Patreon for a couple reasons. One of which is the fact that it costs money to host the show. Mm-hmm. That's a thing. And the second big reason that I actually wanted to start a Patreon is not because I want to sit here and be like, hey, excuse me, please give me money, person who's listening. Because we understand that the lion's share, the majority, almost all of you won't do that, and that is absolutely, positively 100% okay. But, I would like to use the money to make the podcast better. And that sounds really altruistic, right? Like, oh, Joey, you're like, you're in America, baby. Capitalism, eagles, dollar bills. Like, you know, you got to go buy Lambos, right? And we have set up on the Patreon in a way where we're actually not going to make money off of it for a minute. Because really we want to use it to cover the cost of the podcast, first and foremost, which I'm hoping happens pretty quickly because that goal set at like $20. But after that, I set a goal up on Patreon with the idea that we can hire someone to help us with the show on the back end. The show takes a lot of time sometimes to make. Sometimes it's a little bit late. Sometimes I'm up editing it at 4 a.m. Sometimes we're recording at really weird hours, depending on both of our schedules. It that's not me asking for pity, but one of the ways that I know that we can produce the show a little bit better and make a product that is better for you is to be able to pay someone to help us with this stuff. In particular, I think that this solves what I would say is the number one complaint with the show, which is particularly for people who watch on YouTube, but people who come in general, they go, guys, what the fuck? There's like an hour of this, and I don't want to listen to all of it. I just want to hear you talk about DOTA or drama or not whatever the fuck Joey's saying. Or like, you know, I want to skip past Austin talking about his mom. Like, where do I timestamp the video? The primary initial goal of the Patreon is to become sustainable and be able to hire someone who can help us with the YouTube backend, with timestamping, potentially with a couple other things here and there, to ultimately make a better show and to make our lives a little bit easier. That's goal number one. Goal number two is to make a fuck ton of money and take over the world and buy Lamborghinis. But goal number one, I think, is actually more important to me in the immediate, middle, and long-term future.
We can potentially make more content if we are able to do well enough on the Patreon. That in a way just kind of shows that there's enough interest for us to create more content besides what you guys hear once a week. And yeah, we get to be able to pay someone to do timestamps. So you finally, in this disorganized clusterfuck of a podcast, can finally be like, let me skip past all the bullshit and get straight to the Dota. Where's
I want
the
the drama.
Dota? So now you can go to the timestamps and go to the last 10 minutes of the podcast and finally get it updated on Dota, and everything else is filler content until then.
Like now, what do we do the rest of the show? But seriously, yeah. There's it's we haven't even said the thing. It's just patreon.com/sidepull. All one word. SIDEPULL. There's a couple different tiers with a couple different rewards like normal patrons do. I want to note
5 tiers. We can list them. There's the creep tier, the proof of love, and that's it. Go on, Joey.
Well, okay, so I want to make a little note about the creep tier. Patreon recommends Patreon science, Patreon math, that your lowest tier is set to $3. That's where they see like the most ROI potential for a creator. And I said $3? That's too rich for a lot of people. What does Sunsfan and Cinderin do? So I go to Patreon, we say things, and I'm like, their lowest tier is $2. Well, we're not nearly the whole show they are, so we should make our lowest tier a very value price of $1.99, so that if you are trying to pinch pennies, literally, and you got to choose between Cinderin or Cap, we will save you a literal cent. That's it. That's all I got for you. That's the least I could
played.
Do. You know.
You didn't do that with all the other ones? That would have been a funny bit. Just to undersell all the other tiers by 1 cent.
We do their whole Patreon, but like 10% cheaper.
That's great capitalism right there. You want to go over the rest of the tiers?
Yeah, so the I made them today. The $5 tier will give you a special role in our Discord, which is always fun because you have a fun color to your name and special role. Also, you will be included in all of the show credits, which will exist on places, probably YouTube and the podcast platform. So that's like that's the $5 Twitch sub tier. That's fun.
Special color in Discord is important because that way people see you and they're like, oh shit, that guy makes money. That guy makes money right there. Mm-hmm. He's got a job. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good flex. It's a good flex on people.
Very important flex. $10 tier. And also, I should say, we're trying all this out. I'll probably lightly subject to change based on feedback on what works and what doesn't work. I'm just assuming this might be okay. I don't really know. We'll definitely iterate. $10. We're going to add a new segment to the show. We're going to add a new segment to the show. And I know that in the past we've tried taking voicemails that had middle to mild success.
I thought it was interesting. It was kind of cool.
It was. I
probably was a lot more work for you because you had to put in the voice calls into the show.
It was fine. I do have fond memories of those days. Regardless, though, not a lot of people, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, want to leave voice messages. But we want the idea of people being able to have their voice on the show continue to be heard. So I came up with a segment called PP Uma What, which is an acronym for people pay us money and we answer things. Papuma what?
See, I was going to call it P-Puma what, but you went with PP.
Yeah.
That's funnier to say the word PP.
PP's funnier to say, I think. PP Uma what? Yeah. So that's something that we are going to test out. People who are at that tier can submit questions that are on the show every week, which might be a mistake. We have a tier for high rollers after that, $50, which gets you access to a game night that we'll be hosting monthly. Also, even more special color on Discord if you really need to flex on people that you have money.
Yeah, then people will be like, oh shit, that guy not just has money, he's got stacks of money. That guy's rich. He's got a good paying job. You know, that's an even better flex. That's a flex on the jobbers over there.
And then I added one more tier for anybody who has excess money, invested in Bitcoin early, is a whale, or is a business. There's a tier, and this is going to sound crazy, so stay with me for a second. $500 a month. Like, whoa, why would anyone do genuinely, why the fuck? Why in the holy fuck would anyone do that? It's a way for us to put your ad on the show, which is also a remarkably cheap ad spot.
That is very cheap.
I just want to say that's an incredibly cheap ad. But
180-second ad.
It's a 3-minute ad. You get us talking for 3 minutes on a show that, I mean, I'll share numbers if you're curious. You can find out what our CCVs will be. But like, if you're interested in running an ad on the show, you can just buy one, and we'll say whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't need to be for a product.
Yeah. You want to talk about how big your dick is? Sponsor the show. We'll talk 3 minutes about how big your penis is.
I'll get my whiteboard out. I will draw diagrams. Anatomically accurate diagrams. It's big.
Yeah. Put up your dating profile on this show. There are just so many options. I'm sure our female metrics are pretty good, right, Joey?
They're not.
Well, maybe you're looking for dudes, in which case we got you covered.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Patreon.com/sidepole. There's still a couple things that we have to integrate. We have to get the Discord thing like up and running so the roles are automatic. We will set up a Q&A form for people who want to submit for PP Uma what. And you know we're gonna get there, but we've been thinking about this probably for a couple months now, somewhat seriously, and I was like, well, what better episode than 100? Also, that buys me like at least a month to procrastinate.
Do it all in one night. Yeah,
that was today. Seriously, like one of the mental drawbacks for me to committing to doing a Patreon is that there's a little part of me, or like a medium part of me, that's worried about people going, fuck you, man, or that like 3 people are there, and then that is bad for my morale. So that was part of my objection when we were talking about like, should we do this? People seem to be interested, and now I've fully laid myself out there, nice and naked, for you to take a look at and potentially ruin my ego.
That's right. You are now in prime rejection territory here.
Yeah.
Just you, not me. You're not rejecting me.
You're only rejecting me.
Yeah, it's funny how you were talking about like I feel uncomfortable asking people for money, and I was just like, my entire job lives off of the community in one way or the other. Obviously, as streamer, even if it's not like what I don't really consider it my job. It's like a hobby. It's like a side thing.
Yeah,
that
a hustle.
just happens to draw in a little bit of money. I'm way more comfortable, I think, with people giving me money. You know, yeah. If you like what I do, give me a tip. I tip the delivery driver every day. You know, so that's pretty much how I consider it. You know, it's a tip. If you like the work, you feel inclined to do so, go for it.
It would make my cold, silly, shriveled heart warm. But again, no pressure. I will emotionally abuse you, but no pressure. And we'll talk about it minimally, but no
And if there isn't an episode 101, you know why.
Well, we can't. Well, like maybe like 103. By then, we're like, guys, we got to pack it up. There's
After
3
the
people in the
time we've
Discord.
killed the Patreon and nobody's shown up.
I want to note, not gonna shield like this all the time. This is like a celebration, an announcement. I know we've been going for a minute. People are probably like, guys, shut the fuck. I need you to talk about the news that didn't happen in Dota this week, and you're trying to fundraise for and celebrate for 20 minutes. I probably shouldn't insult the audience after I ask them for money. I'll just
Yeah, let's go ahead. let's get down to business here. I know what you're getting to. And so we're done with the Patreon. Thank you for listening to that. Now, down to business. I'm here to talk about Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Oh, dude, are you doing more Mobile Legends Bang Bang?
Yeah, that's what I got going on this week. Tomorrow I'm doing the Mobile Legends Bang Bang stream with Slacks. So if anybody is, I'm not actually advertising that because, it's just that is what it is. Let's put it this way: a marketing agency is paying me for the advertising that I'm doing already. Like I'm not gonna, they didn't pay for this for it to be on the podcast, but it's part of my life, so it's still interesting that. So basically, Slacks and I worked with Mobile Legends. They hired us as talent. Production company, rather, hired us as talent. The same production company that hired us for For Honor did Mobile Legends Bang Bang. And apparently, the developer liked us so much that they wanted to keep working with us, which is great. They offered to hire Slacks for their worlds. They wanted him to be a host. They didn't ask me, which is fair. I think Slacks is, first of all, much bigger than I am, and then
But
also
slimming down.
true, and then also the fact that he's a host. Like in the role that they saw him in, he's a host, right? And I was a commentator, and there are obviously a lot of people who are much better commentators in Mobile Legends Bang Bang than I am. But they offered to hire him, but that didn't end up working. So instead, they asked this marketing agency to set up some sort of like NA. They basically they're trying to advertise to NA audiences more during their version of Worlds, and they wanted me and Slacks involved. And pretty much what we came up with is an 8-hour stream. Yeah, 8 hours.
That's
An
a long
8-hour stream of me and Slacks playing Mobile Legends Bang Bang with fans, and then we're gonna watch M3 together, which again is their like World Finals. We're gonna watch M3. We're gonna watch the North American team play, which they're gonna get shit stomped and immediately kicked out of groups. I'm quite certain.
Oh no,
Because NA sucks and Southeast Asia is way better.
dude. NA also sucks at Valorant. Am I right? Fuck Sentinels.
Wasn't there some hot drama that was happening with that? Sentinels. I saw the tweet from Zoms or whatever. He called all of South America a trash region or something like that.
Yeah, and then flexed his wealth. You know who could afford that $500 a month spot on Patreon? Zoms with his fucking $500,000 watches. Who's shit talking an entire country. Who has free time now because they got eliminated from Valorant Worlds after talking mad shit. Oh, I love it.
Damn.
God,
he
North America's
tweeted things
bad.
like Brazil needs to do less typing, more playing, and then link the top players of Valorant and their prize winnings. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in my week. Tomorrow, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and waiting for Southeast Asia DPC to kick back up again.
To kick back up, how'd the first week go? How was your
Went
first
good.
DPC week?
It's so pretty much the casting schedule is like getting in at either 11 p.m. or like 2 a.m. And then working until somewhere between like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. So definitely weird working hours, but schedule's pretty chill. Working like 2, maybe 3 series a day. Southeast Asia games are they're more hype for me anyway than the Eastern European games so far. Like we had the matchup between Fnatic and SMG. That was a little disappointing. We actually keep on getting 2-0s everywhere, which is a little sad. But
I think every game has been a 2-0 in SEA.
yeah, and I think Eastern Europe has gone that way for the most part. I'm not working every single day, so it's I can't speak to every single game, but all the games that I've witnessed have been 2-0s. So
Everything at your studio has been a 2-0, which is 2, 4, 10 games happened. 9 of them were 2-0s, with the exception of Hellraisers beat VP 2-1. That was the only game that was not a 2-0.
I heard about that. I was actually asleep for that one. I heard about that though. That's not looking good for the new Virtus Pro. But hey, then again, like Secret also dropped a series, so I think the start of the season is probably going to be pretty rough, and there will probably be some upsets in the first week or two, but I imagine after that things will probably return to what you would think is normal.
Everything was a 2-0 in Western Europe also. Every game was a 2-0
Yeah,
in Western
yeah.
Europe.
It goes to show, like, there are probably teams who have put more effort into preparing for this than others. So, uh, like, I know, like, some of the Southeast Asian teams, some are boot camping, some are not.
All I know is that I can happily be like, ah, man, DPC's back. I can watch the boys play. I can hang out in the early morning and get my fix of Team Liquid Dota and be happy about it. That's all I care about.
Well, happy if they win. You guys have played one series so far and won, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if you know about this team called Cool Guys, but we fucking stopped them. So like, I'm pretty sure that if you just extrapolate that a little bit, we're winning TI.
Yeah, the formerly lower division team, you guys beat them. Good work.
How
Good
are you
work.
gonna
You're
talk that
staying
about?
out of relegation with this pace.
How are you gonna shit on? Oh, come on, Funnick. That he's a real Dota player. Thug,
True.
DNZ. It's an okay team.
Are you just listing names that you know?
Yeah, I'm just saying random Dota people's name.
I'm just saying, like, I'm probably expecting those two teams to head back to the lower divisions. So, just because Western Europe's pretty stacked along the like top 4, top 5 list. I think Southeast Asia is pretty well stacked. I think there is a divide though. A little bit like Western Europe in that the top tier teams, I think there's like 4 top tier teams in Southeast Asia fighting for 2 slots, which is actually more hype than Western Europe, which I feel like is probably only 4, maybe 5 top tier teams, and they're fighting for 4 slots. So Southeast Asia is a bit more competitive. Eastern Europe might be that way, though it's still a little bit TBD. With Virtus Pro obviously losing their first series, that's a bit disappointing. But it also says good things about Hellraisers. Navi looks pretty bad. I paneled their series and they were very disappointing. I was grossed out by watching them, so hopefully they get better soon. Otherwise, Eastern Europe's just going to be a one-sided stomp of Team Spirit and some other straggler versus the world.
Puck champ, let's go.
Yeah.
I am interested to see how Team Tickles does, which is the carcass of Vikings, which I thought was like a really good and serious team throughout the last year. Like don't get me wrong, they're not like, Secret or, Nigma or what have you, but like I was always like, man, Vikings a scary opponent to they can kind of take a game off anybody. And they did start off by getting a 2-0 against Secret, which could potentially, something like that could maybe find them squeaking out of not getting relegated.
You mean Nigma, right? They beat Nigma. Team Tickles?
They beat Yes, they beat Nigma. OG
who
beat
did have a stand-in. Yeah, they had RMN standing in right now. So I'm anticipating Nigma not to make it, just because it sounds like the first 2 or maybe 3 matches they're not going to have Miracle, which is obviously their star player. Their coach is standing in. The roles aren't quite right. I just imagine they're going to lose every series that they don't have him, which puts them in dire straits for the first major, which the first major isn't worth as many points and stuff, but like still, it's that's not starting off your season the right way, I think.
That is kind of the big thing that we didn't necessarily talk about, right? Like one of probably the biggest changes in the whole DPC circuit is that events get more points as time goes on.
Yeah, I think that's at Valve. I hope I could say this. Valve has always done that. Back when they did their in-fight system, way back when, they weighted the events that were closer to TI, and that just makes sense, right? Like you win the very first event of the year, it doesn't mean you're going to be good 9 months later for TI. If we want And it is part of the complaint about this DPC format in general. If you want the best teams at TI, if that is the goal, then you should structure it so that you get the best teams. So, for example, weighted points towards the latter half of the year, and then also, like my big thing was like the DPC format is so different from TI that there's naturally going to be people who succeed playing one match a week, but fail at playing, multiple on multiple matches a day during the group stage and having to play a serious series, if not two, every single day in playoffs.
And the math isn't so that like people really need like you shouldn't ignore the first season. Like there are points to be made there, but ultimately if there is one that you're not going to go as ham during, it's that one. It's season 1. An example of that, so major number 1, 1900 DPC points. Major number 3, 3500 DPC points.
Oof, that's a steep climb. Jeez.
It's a steep climb, and it's in the middle. There's 800 DPC points added each time. So major 2 has 2700. So the whole thing just kind of racks up. And I'm happy with that. I think that it's gonna make season 3 like tense because there's going to be not many people who are locked in by that point, and there's going to be opportunities just for good storytelling and probably for the most deserving teams at the time to make it, which I'm happy about. But I'll take the wins when I can get them. If Nigma's not going to be competitive in the first DPC season, I will take the spot at the major. Like it's fine.
They did deny you guys a further spot in the TI qualifiers, so they did. There is some revenge to be had there. Do you guys play them early or later?
No, it's one of the last weeks.
Oh,
it's a TBD week.
You're gonna get a see that those sort of things are kind of funny. For example, I think facing Secret in the very first week is like a massive win based off of schedule, right? Mm-hmm. Because the Team Secret on the first week is going to be much weaker than the Team Secret at the end. Right, because Secret's always known for one, their consistency, and I think a big part of that is being able to figure out the meta faster than everybody else. There was a reason why Secret was totally on top of Western Europe during that COVID period of time where we didn't have any majors or anything. They dominated everybody, and I think it was just because they were ahead. Eventually, people caught up, but they figured out the game way before anybody else did. So,
I'm interested to see if they bounce back real quick, and I'm just interested to see who's gonna be successful. I want to see more competitive series. I think that you see it across things. Like example, there was a really hyped North American match this weekend. I was over the moon to watch Arkosh versus what the fuck, that shitter NA team EG.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're
pretty shit. Okay, hold on. Could you imagine going into like a 4K gold deficit at like 20 minutes against fucking Arkosh as EG? Genuine. How embarrassing.
I see some people.
I hope Boba made them do like sprints and push-ups after that.
You could tell in game 2, honestly. I felt like EG was kind of mad. Because they slaughtered the hell out of Arkosh in game 2, but game 1 was actually very close, and I think Arkosh could have won. Not so sure about Refresher Dawnbreaker, but Pale Horse has his ideas about the game, and I'm not one to question him on that. But I will say I thought it was very funny, a little bit of inside information. Post series interview, they get Crit. Crit has a lot of interesting, cool things to say. For example, it turns out that they had already been talking to Jerix before TI. Sounds like a long time before TI. So potentially Fly's position was already in jeopardy even before Evil Geniuses went to the tournament. And other things like that, all very interesting. But one thing he was like, we really didn't scrim that much leading up into this first series, so we're coming into it a little bit cold and stuff like that. And I was just laughing because I was like, I know Arkosh played literally one scrim leading up into that, and that is part of the reason why game 1 and game 2 was so different, because they only had one strategy. They had only practiced one thing one time. And so when it came to game two, there was nothing left.
They're like, yeah, guys, you want a random? Like, the refresher Dawnbreaker didn't work. I guess we can, I don't know, if you want to play fucking Slark or something.
Yeah. So if you want to check that out, if you want to check out a pretty entertaining game between Arkosh and EG, game one, go ahead and skip game two. But game one was pretty interesting. And great debut for Arkosh. If only the fan packs were in for that as well, that would have been even better. But there
Good
was
press.
a lot.
Good press.
There's a lot of good memes. Yeah, they killed Jarex twice before the horn blew. That was pretty good. That was a good meme. That was a good meme.
Tactical banners in game. Tactical in-game items to make fun of
Yes.
EG.
Yes, we had a banner that was the old EG logo and said "Never forget." Sir Action Slacks with his genius coming through once again. There was a poorly timed tech pause after Arteezy died.
I don't believe that for a second. That is fake news as
Tech
fuck.
issues pop up. Like what
That's
can you
fake
say?
news as fuck.
The one sad thing about that is the cameras. The player cams were not on for the longest time, and I got real conspiracy theory with it because it started off with player cams, and then it stopped about 5 minutes into the game or something like that.
Why?
And I got real conspiracy theory with it because Arkosh was all dressed up in robes and masks, and one of them had makeup on, or face paint rather, the whole deal. And unfortunately, the players didn't know this, but during that pause, they they all took a shot together. And sadly, none of that showed up because the player cams weren't working. I don't know what happened with that production, but eventually it turned back on towards the end of the match. But let me just say, I was really disappointed. I was like, son of a, is ESL like, does ESL have a problem with this? And they're turning off the player cams specifically because they don't want to show Arkosh?
I
messaged the admin mid game. I was like, "Yo, what happened to the player camps? This is very important to us."
I hope to continue to see more theatrics, and I hope that they are welcomed and cheered because it is adding so much to my entertainment value. I sought out watching that match not because Arteezy was there, because Gremlo was there. You know?
Yeah. So that was our ideas for EG. Well, things might get a little bit more tame for the rest of the matches, but Arkosh does aim to stay in the upper division, and I think that they actually have a really good chance. Unfortunately, they couldn't really get scrims in time because of some of the demons were like traveling, couldn't get hold of
How
them
does that
through the
work?
summoning
Do they go through
circles.
normal TSA?
There's different levels of hell. You know, the circles of hell, right? From Dante's Inferno. Yeah, like so it was that. So they have to travel between the various circles, takes time. So unfortunately they couldn't get a whole lot of practice time before that, but they are going to be practicing, and I think they have a pretty good shot. The aim is to stay in upper division.
What's the ping from hell?
The ping from hell is pretty bad. Yeah. It's not great. It's definitely over 100.
Oh wow, that feels like a handicap if potentially multiple demons are playing from hell. And
some of the demons we're almost completed with the summoning rites, and some of the demons will be returning to North America here pretty soon. So that will also help. But yeah, certain positions, as you can imagine, not great for having ping, such as the mid lane. Forsaken Oracle has been doing a journey very similar to Dante's Inferno through hell. So almost done with that journey, and they'll be coming back to NA here pretty soon. So yeah, hopefully things will get better, and I think Arkosh will be decently competitive. I think this may actually be our best roster yet.
I mean, okay, you might not beat EG, but like any other teams on the table, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you go to the Liquipedia, the NA division, I'm not sure if they did this on purpose, but like the top four teams are like very obviously, even four Zoomers, but like the first three, Quincy Crew, EG, Undying, right? Those are the teams that
Hmm.
are probably going to be unbeaten by everybody else. They'll probably lose to each other within that three-way, but everybody else, they're probably not going to be able to take a series, maybe a game, but not a series against those top three. So it's definitely a three-way race for two slots, maybe even a two-way race, depending on how good Quincy Crew is. I have to kind of wait and see how they do against EG and Undying. In which case, if it's a two-way race, that's not a race at all. That's two teams for two slots is not really a race, but whatever. But everybody else, I think, is potential for Arkosh to make the upset.
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna watch every Arkosh game and
Good.
play.
We had 50,000 viewers on Arkosh. Let me just say, our deck for putting out there to potential sponsors, it got a lot better with that game. 50,000 viewers on that last match. Good stuff.
Not
Good stuff. Thank
RTC
you, EG.
again. Not RTC. That's
Fucking it's not RTZ. That's totally Arkosh pulling it all.
God. You brought up something very very mildly, like almost in passing, about the fan support packs not being in for that match, but
Yes.
in less than a week, in about almost a week, no, in less than a week from the deadline to submit, everybody who put additional information and got it in the game. The deadline, I believe, was 5 p.m. on Monday, and before 5 p.m. today, everything was in for people who submitted it. So that is a giant improvement from whatever happened last year. Let's not make any let's not mix words about that. That is awesome. It's fun because now if you go to the team page, you can see basically everybody. You can get a fan support package for basically every team. But only like 18 out of the 90 teams have anything more than bronze tier because they didn't submit the other stuff.
I was going to say the one thing that didn't improve from last year was teams getting their shit in. Yes, Valve put this. Now the system was made. They did a good job making the system. Now it's a lot more automated, so things are going to be faster. And boom, they get it out really quickly. By the end of the first week, we've got our fan packs, but the teams themselves have yet to get their shit together. Even the super organized, like the big organizations, like I think Na'Vi didn't have jack shit in their pack. Like, come on, guys. Like, what?
It's just a lot more tier 1 teams than Navi too. There's a lot of teams. Teams that did get stuff in: Arkosh,
Hey,
Team Liquid.
Team Liquid. Yep. You guys' pack is pretty good.
It's good. It's pretty okay. Let me talk about something real quick. I'm really proud about the wallpapers because I think that we're telling a story with them. The first wallpaper, which we had last season, was a reimagining of the original TeamLiquid.net banner. And then this second wallpaper, which we added to the pack, is a reimagining of the Liquid Dota form wallpaper. And I think that's really cool for someone who doesn't. I think that's really cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah, that's. I think we did something similar as well on Arkosh. I think we told a great story as well with our our big thick thighs and big titties Quap. Who sang Awaken. That's a good story about the lore behind the demons.
I'm just going to give you more rope. Just keep using it.
Oh, man. Okay, can I ask you what you think of our fan pack? What'd you think of ours?
I like the Tide Hunter emote you have. I think that holistically with fan packs, really what people are buying are voice lines, not even sprays. I think that in ranking, the emoticons are basically worthless, and they're not important. You can put anything there, and it shouldn't really matter. I think the wallpapers are very similar. No one is buying it for the wallpaper. The sprays some people like the sprays. I think there's a very small group of people who like the sprays, but some people like the sprays. Really, people are going for the voice lines, and everything should probably be judged off the voice lines. I like some of the art that Arkosh had done. I think that the voice lines are like okay.
We definitely didn't get the all the ones that we wanted in, because again, I think we put the max amount of content in every one, and then Valve just chooses. So definitely not the ones that we would have chosen, but still, I think we're happy with it. Especially, it's not going to be as good as last year, that's for sure. But
well, updates every season, so you could potentially iterate on it next season.
Comparatively, I think we're top tier. That's the thing about it. I think comparatively, we're still gonna do well.
I have some complaints. Complaints for anybody at the Valve office who listens to this, which I think is no one. But yeah, actually, I lie. Someone is listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be like, "Well, Joey, that just makes more work for us, and we don't like. How are we gonna do that?" When you submit the files, you submit them like unnamed, numbered 0 through 9 or what have you, right? Yeah. Let that be the order of preference from the people submitting them. So that if I want 1, 2, and 3 to be in the package, I can tell you by naming them 0, 1, and 2. And then if you say, hey, number 1 doesn't work, then go to number 4. But choosing all willy-nilly what you think is best takes it adds so much stress to people who are actually like trying to do this, because I got no idea who's choosing what they like. Is it just a person in the room who goes, well, I think that's the best? Because I might disagree with you for my team, because I know what the fans of my team want, right? Not necessarily you. I'm getting really direct and aggressive with this mystery person I don't know. I don't know.
Tell.
I know, but like seriously, let us do that, please. Please let us do that,
because
and then
there
we
are
don't
different
have to
strategies as a result. Mm-hmm. Because like I say, we do the full pack. So what that means is we submit 10 different voice lines, and we know only 3 are going to get in. As just an example, right? Mm-hmm. And we submit, I think 10. Maybe not 10 different stickers, but we submit like 6.
It's less, yeah. It's like 10 voice lines, 6 stickers, 6 emoticons, something like that.
So we do the full amount, but other people only submit exactly what they want in, and they just kind of have to hope that Valve says it's okay. And we don't really know what the right strategy is per se. But if there was a ranking system, then that would change a lot. People would put extra stuff in, and then accept the fact that like, oh, Valve doesn't like our number 1 suggestion, so our number 4 is going to get in, and that's still okay. But right now, it's like a lot of people are like, we're only going to submit exactly what we want in with no substitutes, and just hope that Valve accepts it.
So if you do that, which is close to what I did, you can get burned by it, because you might notice if you look at the Team Liquid fan pack, there are only 2 stickers because I only submitted 3. I only submitted 3 because I was so
and your
confident.
Third one that got declined.
I was so confident that it was going to be fine that I'm like, I don't want to pay my artist to make another one. I feel good. This is what I want in the game. I don't want you to choose. This is what I want in the game. And someone disagreed, which is fine. That's totally their prerogative. But got burned there. Feels bad. Additionally, I submitted 1 extra voice line just in case. Last season we submitted 9. This season we submitted 4, and we submitted Insania's line again because we think that was the one that saw the most success, both like in competitive play and just in general. And it's one that the team like has a lot of fun with, right? We submitted Insania's line. We submitted 2 Xy lines, 2 options for Xy lines, and 1 Koikfa max line, and I wanted 1 Insania, 1 Xy, 1 Max. Max Koikfa still part of Team Liquid. Still, his YouTube is like very successful right now. His streaming is going very.
He's popping off.
He's popping off. He's doing a great job, and like I'm super happy for him. I wanted him in the package. But they chose the 2 Xi lines instead of the 1 Xi 1 max. And I'm like,
Right.
fuck, that's also not what I wanted. So not only did I get burned by playing the game of not having enough emotes, I got of sprays. I also got, I guess, burned by submitting one too many extra voice lines.
and then on top of that, there seems to be I'm gonna say this is a bug.
It has to be. It has to
the
be.
whole situation is it's so weird. But like there are a couple of teams that have a 4th sticker in there. Weirdly enough, and the 4th sticker is like shrunk down and really small, but you can click on it to enlarge it. It's like a hidden bonus. But like T1 and Quincy Crew, which Quincy Crew, if you haven't, like before Valve fix it, go click on the Quincy Crew one, because the 4th one is this tiny shrunk down UR, but you click on it and it opens up, and it's this beautiful picture of UR staring down the camera. They've got a little bit of like lens flare coming up, and it's actually a really funny Easter egg. And you're like, what is that thing? And you click it, and then all of a sudden you full page UR just shows up on your monitor. It's actually really funny. But yeah, there were some teams who managed to get a 4th one in there, which I just assume is a bug.
It has to be a bug. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know if I'm gonna post or if we're gonna say or what we're gonna do. Like I want to show the sticker that got denied. I don't know. Maybe we'll find something funny to do about it. But I don't know if Valve's gonna think that that's petty or complaining. I'll figure that out later. But basically, the sticker that we submitted was a picture of or a drawing of Matumba Man's iconic shorts. His H&M shorts that he won TI with, that is like, you can call him a meme, and it says across the shorts, "Eat my shorts." That was what I got denied. A Simpsons meme that was designed to be so unoffensive that they could say it on basic cable and the censors wouldn't have a problem with it. That is what got taken out. The whole intent of that was to be so mild that no one could complain about it. Fox said it was okay.
Out of curiosity, is there any way that it's a copyright issue?
No
that
way.
Valve doesn't want to tread that line?
No way.
There's no way? Okay. Yeah. We, Arkosh, again, with the whole priority thing, we resubmitted our Omaewa Motion Deru line, and unfortunately, that did not get in this time, which obviously we wanted to, because that was the most popular line of maybe the entire packs of last season, particularly for our pack. But yeah, all around, I think I'm pretty happy. Even our emotes, I think, are pretty funny. They're based off of Twitch emotes, so low-hanging fruit, but they work really well.
Team Tickles' line are just a bunch of laughing, which I think is like really smart, but also I don't know if that followed the rules.
Also mega annoying. It's so annoying. What do you think it didn't fit the rules?
Well, like, I guess if they have the players being the ones laughing, then it's technically them, but they're like all the same line. And it's like not...
Is there a rule that it has to be the players saying it stuff? Because I know some teams... Well, for example, ours is Slacks. So the owner of the organization...
Yeah, you have to be like affiliated.
But I know there are definitely people who hire voice actors. There was a team that wanted to hire me. I told them, just do it yourself. It's better that way. Like, it'll be better for you guys if you do it, not me. So, but yeah, there are teams who definitely hire voice actors for their lines. So,
I'm not stoked about this one. I'm pretty not stoked about it.
I'm sorry.
It's whatever. No one's buying the pack for the sprays, but like, I thought it was a good spray.
God, I'm fucking laughing right now because I'm hovering over Arkosh and the player pictures show up. Wonderful. Our uniform is the best uniform in esports. Bar none. Nobody beats our uniform.
I don't know. I was hope I want full masks on the next set. Like I want full.
If we could do masks, we would.
Noted.
But we this time around we needed actual player pictures, so we
What a
did that.
stupid rule. I can say that, right? I don't know if you can say that. I can probably say that.
I can see where Valve would have a problem with it because it sets a precedent that other teams can follow, right? That has been the problem with Arkosh every step of the way, is that like even if it's fine, like it's harmless if Arkosh does it, but it becomes a problem if other people start doing it, right? Because our whole thing is being characters, right? Instead of players, we have created characters that people can vibe with in some way, that people have fun imagining. But like if other teams just choose to like, I don't want my face there, I just wear a mask instead, like, you know, maybe that's not a good environment. But so I think it's fair if Valve has a problem with that.
Slippery slope arguments always feel icky to me, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's not like if Valve picks and chooses what they like and don't like enough, right? Where they can just be like, well, this is fine here, but not fine there. Like, it's a case-by-case thing, right? I don't know. I want my third sticker.
Did you see any other packs that really stood out to you?
I thought that the art for Hellraisers was nice.
Alliance's voice lines were good. I think they're going to sell a lot. It's just Bulldog. It's Bulldog being Bulldog. Same thing as EG. EG just, I think they literally took clips from RTZ's stream because the audio was
audio
terrible.
quality is so
much like
bad.
Their sticker was really bad quality last time. You said that was intentional. Well, this would point to it continuing to be intentional because the audio is really annoying for the EG ones because I'm pretty sure it's clipped straight from RTZ's stream.
I think the sticker that EG has for, what does it say, Free Farm?
Free Farm with an arrow pointing to it. Yeah.
Best sticker award. I will give out a best sticker award for that one.
That's Arkosh tried to do that. I mean, we put it in again. But the very first pack we tried to put in one, and it was a similar meme where it's an arrow, and ours is leaning with stupid.
See, now that's aggressive.
Maybe a little aggressive.
That one is too aggressive. I don't think Eat My Shorts is aggressive.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know, man.
What is EG art by Jerix? Jerix drew a tiny. That's their wallpaper.
Yeah, they're doing an EG art series, which I think is a fun concept, but only one got in, so that makes me wonder, did they only submit one? Or what happened?
Maybe they're doing one a season, you know?
Collect them all?
Yeah, exactly. Collect them all. So next season is going to be the RTZ drawing. That's a pretty good idea. That's very good, actually. Well played. Well played by the EG team.
The EG had a good run. They have a good time. They got a good pack. Hopefully we can review more packs as they trickle in through the next forever. But until then, if you need to buy a gold pack with all those player cards, Team Liquid, Arkosh, maybe, depends on your region. Just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah, you know, you're trying to get NA cards, buy an Arkosh pack.
I did.
If you're trying to get some European cards, buy a Liquid pack. Yeah. You know. You know, that Insania line, people, I've seen this go around on Reddit a couple times. So he says, I know we probably lost, but we can still do this. And I've seen a couple people say, like, this, you know, we talked about how false information gets repeated around on the internet, that was from TI when they picked the gyrocopter.
No, it wasn't.
Said,
no, it
which
wasn't.
I took that. I was very proud of that because obviously I helped Insania. Like, that's way more on Insania than me. But I was very proud of us collaboratively. The fact that people thought that was from TI, and he said something like that in the booth after they picked gyrocopter.
We didn't have enough time, but I wanted to do a very similar bit that we did with you, but do it with Moxie and have her give singing lessons to all the people, and then have our full team try and sing their voice lines like a cappella. I thought that would have been.
We thought about that too.
A funny
we thought
continuation
about doing
of the
voice lines.
Yeah.
Musical voice lines, I think, are underutilized. That's definitely. I think that's. You get the right kind of music or singing, and I think that could go really well. But
Hmm. Well,
again, not sure if that'll be allowed.
we'll
Who knows?
see. We'll see how they go. We are going to wrap up in a second, but before we do, I have a question for you. A
Mm-hmm.
question that I asked you earlier today, and you said wait for the podcast, and I've just been thinking about it for hours. I've been thinking about it for hours. Um,
Okay.
Over the last 24 hours, I played all of Inscription. I know you told me to break it up, and I did by taking a little break, but I basically played it in like 3 chunks. Um, I played the first act, took a break, played the second act, went to sleep, woke up, played the third act. And I really liked the game. I really liked the game. I think that it
It was
is.
cool, right?
I think
Very
it.
cool concept.
I think it is up there with one of the best games for the year for me. Like if like
Yeah.
I don't think it may be the best, but like it's in like that ambiguous top 3, top 5 things that I like feel are like
Mm-hmm.
really good. And I think that there's like a lot of good like just creative energy and art in there. Like super solid ideas that went into it. I would recommend, like Cap did, a lot of people play it. Um, but I was trying to figure out what you were complaining about in the game, and I thought that you messed up the ending to Act One, and you said nope,
Yes.
that wasn't it.
Okay. What you said is specifically was not how I messed it up. Okay. Yeah. That is kind of how I messed it up. Now that I think about it, but yes, the ending of Act One is where I got frustrated. Because most roguelikes, right, are repetitive nature where you unlock things over time and you repeat that process very many times, usually in roguelikes. So I repeated it a few too many times because I was trying to figure out how to get out of Act One, because that final tool that you're supposed to use, I was using it at the end. And there is nothing to be gained if you use it at the very end. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't use that item in the at the boss. And so like that, like I naturally like you, you got to use it. I thought use it at a special time. I thought I was supposed to kill the moon somehow with that. So like I did 2 or 3 runs where I was using it at the like I was trying to use it at a very specific time for the boss.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize that I would literally just use it anytime. Which obviously it's a tool that helps you win. So by effect, it basically meant that much like in regular RPGs or something, you hoard the super special item towards the final, but you just never use it. That's what happened to me. I didn't use the super health potion or whatever. That's very rare. And I tried to use it on the final boss, and that's that's not how you unlock the stuff. You were just supposed to use it earlier. That part annoyed me. That's what I was annoyed at.
The
So
game is aggressively anti hand holding.
yeah, yeah. I was frustrated by the fact that I basically got punished
Did
for succeeding too much.
how much did when you were playing along, did you have like people in chat who were like helping at all?
I was very aggressively anti-spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was
But there
one
were
part that
definitely
I looked
there were
up.
definitely people who were leading me towards using that item earlier.
I think that we managed to not spoil that, but everyone, if you like that kind of stuff, you haven't seen Cat play, you should try and play Inscription. And I got
Yes.
another game rec for you. I got
Okay.
another one, and I think particularly awesome. I think this is a game that you might like. It's called Fights in Tight Spaces. It's like if you took Into the Breach and Slay the Spire and kind of gave them a baby. It's a deck building roguelike
I've
that
seen this. Yeah.
is turn-based tactics combat that involves a lot of repositioning. Um and it's way better than I expected it to be.
Okay.
I've been playing a ton of this. I wish that it was on Switch because
I
this would
already
be
bought it.
a great airplane game. Okay, he
Mm,
already bought it. He bought it during
makes
the
sense.
conversation. He wasn't even going
Yes.
to wait for a Steam sale, which is going to happen in like a week. Mr. Moneybags
Yeah.
over here. How are we going to sit
That's
here and
true.
ask for Patreon money? Patreon.com/sidepoll. When you're out here buying games, not even on sale, all willy-nilly.
Pay for my Steam game addiction, please. I have too many games. So many they just put out more roguelikes, and I love roguelikes, and I just keep playing them. And then there are a lot of them I play like one or two rounds, and I'm like, this game isn't that good. It's a shame. But I've already spent like 3 or 4 hours on it or something. So it's like, well, I guess I kind of got my money's worth. Not really,
I'm
but
confident you'll play this one for at least 4 hours.
okay.
Yeah, I think you'll have at least one really good run and potentially a couple extra ones. And they're still doing more dev on it, but like fights in tight spaces. People, if you like particularly Into the Breach.
Okay. Nice.
And
Yo, I got one more thing, totally random.
oh, okay, hit it, dude. I'm here for it.
Have you ever like
No. Sorry.
Have you ever gotten a rash or like touched poison ivy? What is the itchiest you've ever been? That's what I'm asking.
I have in my day gotten a couple outbreaks of an athlete's foot or athlete's foot adjacent situation. And that I want to claw my feet skin off.
All right, so I have been going through so the side effect of a medical problem I have is the fact that I medical condition, I should say. The side effect that has just occurred over the last week, it literally happened, I think, right after our podcast, is that I am itchy all the time. And oh my God, it's driving me fucking insane.
In a particular
Holy shit.
location? Like are you locally itchy or just
legs
itchy?
and arms. Legs and arms. I got medication for it, and it said it can take up to a month to work.
Holy fuck! Are you
Dude,
just like
it's so annoying. It's so fucking. I can't like. Sometimes I have a hard time sleeping. I just wake up because I'm itching so much, and I can't go back to sleep. It's
does your
oh
skin
my
does your
God.
skin like look like any like is it red or inflamed, or are you just it just feels itchy?
It was totally it did not look bad, but after it's been itching so much, like I try not to scratch, but like especially if I'm asleep and I wake up, I will obviously like I don't have control over that. I just wake up itching. But like I also I just rub. A lot of times I'm trying to use like lotion and like aggressively rub at the skin because I need some sort of relief of some kind. But yeah, so I've started developing some like little bits and pieces of like red dots, maybe a little bit of rash or something like that. But that's mostly because of the scratching and rubbing. It's fucking maddening, and it's so annoying. And I can't imagine that like when I'm going through is like relatively minor compared to like people, let's say, who have like really bad tinnitus. I've experienced tinnitus. I get it here and there, but there are obviously people who like have major tinnitus constantly. It never goes away. Oh my God. It's having something that is like constantly eating at you like that is so maddening. It's actually such a big detriment to like your life status. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's hard to focus.
Yeah. So that's what I've been going through. So if you watch the Southeast Asia DPC and you see me scratching at my arms like I'm a fucking drug addict, that's what's happening.
It's that, or he hasn't gotten his fix yet.
Yeah, one or the other. It's 3 a.m. Daddy needs his juice.
Dude, that blows. A month for medicine to start working like that. That feels like is anything topical working? Like, have you just like coated yourself in Benadryl or something?
No, I've got like some itch relief moisturizing lotion that I regularly use, but I think it's more so the cold and the fact that I can like rub my skin aggressively that it gives me some minor relief initially, but I don't think it's actually doing anything. So it's an internal thing. So most like regular rashes and stuff like that, the solution to those it's different than what this is. So it's that's what I got going on. So my God.
So please support us on Patreon so that you can stop Cap's itching. That's the message.
Yes.
I think that's what he was saying. I think
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that is what the messaging was.
I just did another MRI recently, $800. Fucking the American healthcare system is so fucked.
Dude, that's a lot. Last time I had to get an MRI was not that much. I know that we have different insurance, but
it's because I have to do multiple, and it's a special kind of MRI. So I have to
dude.
spend $1,600 on just that every year. Fucking awful. I hate the American healthcare system, man.
Everybody, thank you so much.
Sorry, I had to this podcast is my rant every week. I get a rant every week. That was my rant.
And your therapy. It's good. But
yes, therapy and ranting.
People's listened to a lot of ranting from both of us and a lot of things. Our Dota and our lives and games and more of our lives and just other stuff. And like I know that there's people who've been listening since the beginning. I know there's people who've been listening recently. I know there's people who bounce around every now and then depending on what the topic of the week is. Like thank you, all of you, because thank you. It's truly bizarre to think that we are in our living room bedrooms right now just like having a fun conversation. We're gonna go edit this, we're gonna post it, and people are gonna gain enjoyment from it. Sometimes it's hard to realize that like that's the case, and it is. And I can't say thank you enough for tuning in and talking to us and hanging out on Discord and everything. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. God, I love that song. My God. Sorry, it's been a ride, and we're still going. I can't believe that we've done 100. So here's to more, and
let's
thanks.
do another 100,
and let's do another 1,000,000.